Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tailgate Tuesday, live for the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series here on the NASCAR Heat 5 game. It is the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series season, round 8 live at Richmond International Raceway. It's the Virginia 225 lap race divided into 3 stages. These drivers can reach about anywhere from 29 to 32 laps based on fuel and tires. And we're working stage 1. You're watching the pole sitter, Jesse Carlson, in the number 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports, leading the race with his teammate Stephen Corley in the number 99 Ford F-150 right behind him. And running in third is the driver in the 26 Chevy Silverado making his debut here in the Tailgate Truck Series. That is Landshark, qualified in the 8th position, has already worked his way up into third. And it's Josh Colm-Diaz, 2 wins this season for the driver in the 23, and he runs in 4th. I am NOSSCAR CEO Tyler McMurder, and bringing you live flag-to-flag coverage of the Virginia 225. And it's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 Toyota Tundra running in 5th, but he's a little bit out of frame from these top 4. The top 4 have really separated themselves from the rest of the field here early in the going. 225 laps, 22 trucks on the racetrack, and Jesse Carlson coming into this race with a big boost of momentum, finding victory lane for the first time in the Truck Series just last week. And now Landshark in the 26 has taken the 2nd place position away from Stephen Corley. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 is going to capitalize and put the 99 Steel Horse Motorsports Ford back into the 4th position. Still the top 4 with a nice healthy gap over the drivers running 5th on back, and this is what the battle for the 5th position looks like. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Rockstar Racing, running in 5th, and it's Cameron Norton, number 3 Chevy Silverado right behind him, running in 6th. And wow, folks, and it's Nick Don-Francesco in the number 24 Chevy Silverado making the move for the 6th position on Cameron Norton. And the reason why I say wow is because Nick had to miss qualifying. He barely was able to make the show, and he started at the tail of this 22 truck field, and he's made his way all the way up into the 6th position here, and we're still working laps in stage 1. So that puts Cameron Norton back into the 7th position now. And see if we can go a little bit deeper in the field. The 38 truck, Bradley Gilliland, he runs in the 8th position, and it's a hornet's nest for 9th on back just behind him. It's Alex Tesdahl, number 98 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports, running in 9th, and it's Jordan Roughton in the number 17 Ford, rounding out the top 10. And the reason why it's important to show Bradley in the 38, brand new contract for him, driving for No Shift Motorsports, and taking on the Ford F-150. He was driving the 74 Silverado before this and found success there, but has worked his way into a really nice ride, and for a team that has more funding and more teammates, more information and knowledge being passed around in the garage area. And moments ago, Landshark had worked his way up into the 2nd position, but we can tell you that Josh Colm-Diaz has actually worked his way up into 2nd. Stephen Corley followed him through into 3rd. And should mention also 21 trucks left on the racetrack. Jeff Grady in the 82 has pulled his truck off the track, and he's motionless on pit road. Looks like his night is done here at Richmond. There he is, Josh Colm-Diaz. He's never won a NOSSCAR championship, but he's won races in 4 different NOSSCAR series hosted on these NASCAR Heat games, and he won the Tailgate 250 at Daytona to start the season off, and first time he's won a season opener for any of these series here at Daytona, and having a solid night, solid run, good start to the Virginia 225 for him. Getting into turn 1, about a width of a truck off the yellow line, then swings it back down there, trying to get a bit of a launch out of the corner, and he's doing a good job doing that. Turn 3, of course, is a little tighter than turn 1. You got to use a little bit more brake or do a little bit more lifting heading into turn 3 than you do turn 1. And it does appear that the drivers running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are gaining a little bit of ground on your race leader, Jesse Carlson. Checking in on Nick Francesco. He started at the tail of the field and he's worked his way into 5th. He just passed Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 just a couple of laps ago. And we'll see if he can charge towards Land Shark, who runs in the 4th position. These two have left Cameron Norton just a little bit. Cameron now running in 7th and kind of on his own. There you see him. Strong qualifying effort. Starting in the 4th position. And welcome back, Thomas Geyer, qualified 5th. Runs full-time in the NASCAR Elite National Series over on iRacing, driving the ARCA cars, and a number of top 10 finishes to start the season for him. 6 races complete, and he's got a top 10 in every single one except for one outing, and only in a playoff spot because of his consistency over there. He's having a good battle here with Jason Armstrong. This is all happening just in front of your race leader, the yellow and silver Ford F-150. Number 88 coming into frame. That's your leader, Jesse Carlson. He's looking now to the inside of Thomas Geyer. Ooh, I don't think there was contact made. More or less looked like Thomas was unexpecting him to go down there. And that puts Thomas 1 lap down, and the leader is now closing in on Jason Armstrong. Daniel McGriff in the 13 just in front of them. There's a couple of drivers in danger of going a lap down here in stage 1. Short track racing at its finest, and we've got a battle for position here inside the top 5. They're going around Timmy Brown in the 8 Ford F-150, who's 1 lap down here at Richmond, and Nick Francesco has taken 4th from Land Shark, and it looks like Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 is trying to take 5th, and he does. So the rookie, the newcomer, Land Shark, running in the 6th position, making his debut here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. Very solid effort in this 22 truck field. First time in a long time he's run in a league. I was speaking to him before he made his debut, and he said that he was just going to try to blend in and cruise and have a good finish, run all the laps if he can. He's been approached to sign up for leagues many times, and he's always turned them down, but something about NASCAR made him accept, and here he is, and he's running in the top 10, running in 6th, having a good run. Alex Tesdall has dropped the 10th position to Jason Armstrong. And this is a good battle here for 11th. Alex trying to hold on. Beam SKP, the lone full-time driver out of France, trying to take that position from him. Oh, and it looked like Beam got a little bit loose there. He might even be going to pit road, and he is. Green flag pit stops beginning here in stage 1 at Richmond. There's Brett Baker, former NASCAR champion on NASCAR 15. He got a little bit loose going into 3 and 4. And he's soldiering on. Jordan Roughton in the 17. He's in the top 10 right now and laying down some pretty good lap times. He's gaining ground on Cameron Norton in the 3, and that would be a battle for position. There you see him, Harold Burden in the number 56. Black and white and red Chevy Silverado coming into frame right behind Jordan in the 17. That is a battle for position inside the top 10. Harold, of course, in the 56. He's a long-time NASCAR driver. Started back in 2017 with us on the NASCAR 15 game. There you see some of the trucks leaving pit road. Alex Tesdall on pit road. Jason Armstrong on pit road. We're going to check in with your race leaders now as we went through the field for you. And there he is. Pole sitter, Jesse Carlson. Like I said, coming off a big win last week, and first Truck Series win it was for him, and he also found victory lane for the NASCAR Motormaster Series race at Sonoma Raceway. First win in that series for him as well, so it was one heck of a week here in NASCAR for Jesse Carlson last week, and he's picking up where he left off, and now it appears that he might be coming to pit road. There's a couple of others doing that as well. Land Shark in the 26 truck going to pit road. And for the time being, this will hand the lead over to Josh Holm-Diaz in the 23. Stephen Corley in the 99, right behind him. He's currently scored in 2nd. Keep in mind, they do need to come to pit road before the end of stage 1. Stephen Corley has a win this season as well. He won the Holiday Bash 200 at Homestead to capture his first NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win in his career and locking himself into the playoffs in the process. Whoa, got a little bit loose there coming out of turn 2 though, and going to gather it back up and hold on. And nice save there. And when these tires get worn, it's very easy for these drivers to slip and slide as they enter these turns. We've seen a couple of them kind of venture down towards the apron and not by choice, and doing a good job gathering it up and saving it out there at times. Still watching a good battle for the race lead. There's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. He's going to pit road. He's going to surrender a top 5 spot in the process. And the 38 of Bradley Gilliland goes around Cameron Norton. I don't believe that Cameron has been to pit road yet. You know that Alex Hesdall and some of these others have, so running much quicker lap times than some of these other drivers still on the racetrack. Harold Burton in the 56 coming to pit road. 21 truck, Dustin McClintock leaving pit road. Busy place down there, but keeping our eye on the race leader who's still going. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 yet to come to pit road, and the 99 of Stephen Corley, the same deal. And here they come. Oh, Stephen getting into the back of Josh Colm-Diaz, and around goes the 23 at the entrance to pit road, and that's problems there for Josh, and it's a shame. Stephen couldn't get the Ford F-150 loaded up in time, and that's really going to cost Josh a lot of time. He's stuck over at the entrance to pit road. See if we can see him. Now, finally, going down pit road for service. I don't believe that he lost enough time to go a lap down from this incident, and that's miraculous because this is a short track, let's not forget, but he got it going again. Pretty short work there, and hopefully he stays on the lead lap. We know he's got a fast truck. Stephen Corley leaving pit road as well. There goes Nick Don Francesco on the 24 by him. And we know that when this all cycles through, Jesse Carlson is going to have a huge advantage from being on those fresh tires for a longer period of time. The 88 Ford F-150 is back out front when this all cycles through. And keep in mind, folks, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23, there you saw him. He just came off pit road. As of now, he's going to be in the free pass position if the stage were to end now, and we're kind of nearing the end of stage 1 at this point, so he's going to have to pick it up and stay with the race leader, make sure he doesn't lap too many more trucks. Good battle here. Dave Marks Jr. and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. teammates at Rockstar Racing, and they both held on to it there. Contact was made. We have Jesse Carlson, the 88 Ford F-150, leading the way. He's coming out of turn 2 right now. He's got trucks behind him and in front of him. He's fighting a lot of different traffic here. There's a lot of different strategies going on right now. Drivers short pitting and staying out as long as they possibly can, and then coming down for service. So some drivers running quicker than others, and right now, Jesse Carlson working to the outside of the 38 truck, and that is Bradley Gilliland. Ooh, Bradley wiggled a little bit there. He held on to it, and Good thing he did. He had the leader right beside him. Stephen Corley in the 99 runs in second. There you see him in the Ford F-150. He's right behind Dustin McClintock in the 20, who is one lap down. Actually, check that, folks. It's Nick Don Francesco in the 24. Running in second, Stephen Corley running in third. Harold Burden in the 56 has gone a lap down during the cycle of these pit stops. Jesse Carlson leading the way. Question is, can Nick Don Francesco get to him? And another question is, can Josh Colin-Diaz get to him? There you see him, folks, the blue and silver 23 Silverado coming into the frame. He's trying to get his lap back. He's one lap down after that incident coming to pit road. And Stephen Corley in the 99 ran into the back, into the tailgate of the 23 and cost Josh a whole bunch of track time. Running in the third position before the cycle of pit stops began, too. So it was really a heartbreaking moment for Josh, and he's looking to rebound here. He would love to get his lap back the old-fashioned way, instead of having to line up behind the entire field for the beginning of stage 2. 22 trucks here at Richmond, so it would take quite some time and probably wear his tires out quite a bit and getting back to the front if he had to start behind those lap trucks. Coming up on Timmy Brown, Ford F-150 for No Shift Motorsports. And you say it looked like he was actually going to go low, let the leader go by, but the leader wasn't quite close enough yet. I think Timmy thought the same, and and Timmy found the outside wall coming out of turn 2 just a little bit, and that allowed the leader to capitalize. And up into the wall went Timmy Brown. I don't think that he expected Josh Colin-Diaz to be to his inside when they entered turn 3, but he was there, and Timmy Brown found the wall. He's still soldiering on. We're nearing the end of stage 1. And this is what the battle for second and third looks like. Don Francesco in the 24, Stephen Corley in the 99. Good run for Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Inside the top 5 and nearing the end of stage 1, trying to hold on to get some stage points, and he's been known for that this year. Comes into this race second in the point standings, and he's been slowly but surely climbing towards Nick Don Francesco, who comes in as the points leader. Jesse Carlson leads the Virginia 225. Couple of trucks just in front of them that are going to go a lap down here if they don't pick it up is Alex Hesdahl in the 98, teammate to the leader, and Beam SKP in the number 16 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing, lone full-time driver out of France, and he also owns his own F1 2020 league, currently third in the point standings for that series over there. And they're side by side just in front of your race leader, and like I said, that is key, because if the leader gets around them, going to be a 3-truck battle for the free pass position at the end of stage 1 between those two, and maybe Josh Colin-Diaz in the 23 as well, because he's still just a truck length behind the leader. He's been right there this entire time. They're still side by side just in front of your race leader. They bounced off each other just a little bit. Oh boy. Oh, it's getting slicey and dicey, let me tell you, because the leader went to the outside there to try to get around these 2 lap trucks. Now Josh Colin-Diaz goes to the bottom of the leader trying to get his lap back the hard way. He's got slightly fresher tires than the leader, Jesse Carlson, and that's really what's allowing him to do this 3 wide down the front straightaway. As of now, Shadow stays on the lead lap, as does Josh Colin-Diaz, and Josh has taken his lap back, and it's Beam SKP in the 16 that's currently the first truck 1 lap down. He's in the top 10 in the running order, but yeah, as of now, he's going to be off the lead lap for the start of stage 2, or he's going to get the free pass. It kind of depends on what Jesse Carlson does here with Josh Colin-Diaz and Alex Hesdahl. And just behind these guys, the battle for second is really not cooled off at all. There's what it looks like. Stephen Corley and Nick Don Francesco. In fact, they're both gaining ground on your race leader, Jesse Carlson, right now, and it's got a lot to do with this slicing and dicing that we're watching between Jesse and these 3 lap trucks. They're still battling here.
Oh man, they were just 3 wide.
They're swapping positions every lap, every corner, and now at this point, Josh Colin-Diaz is in front of your race leader, Jesse Carlson, so he is at the tail of the lead lap, and it's Alex Tesdahl, the first truck, 1 lap down. Beam SKP is 1 lap down. Stephen Corley and Nick Don Francesco, 2nd and 3rd, are now on the same straightaway as Jesse Carlson, and it's got a lot to do with this traffic that the leader is having to navigate his way through. And Tyler, as you know, it's no easy task to do here at these short tracks. Richmond International Raceway, 3/4 mile oval, and not too much banking to it, but enough to make it really interesting. These trucks do slide a little bit, and there's really just nowhere to go when these trucks get spread out when there's 22 of them out there.
It's real tight quarters, as you've seen there when they were running 3 wide there. I met a lot of them guys running gas.
Yeah, I guarantee it. I think if a few of them were, there would have been contact, and amazingly enough, there was no contact. And when you're racing with the leaders and you're a lap down, you really only want to do that if you know for sure that you can do it without risking the lead for them. And the green and white checkered flags are in the air. Jesse Carlson wins stage 1. Josh Colin-Diaz survives and gets his lap back. It's going to be Alex Tesdahl, the free pass truck, at the end of stage 1. Nick Don Francesco finishing in 2nd. Stephen Corley finishing in 3rd. And now I would need to confirm this at the end of the race, but I believe that it is Harold Burden in the 56 finishing in 4th. Cameron Norton rounding out the top 5, and those would be your top 5 drivers receiving the stage points. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. running in 6th, and this is going to give these drivers an opportunity to make adjustments under caution for the first time all race long. These drivers have already made 1 pit stop, but no pressure here. No leaders still on the racetrack, chugging along. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to make some adjustments if they need it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of tight trucks out there.
And so do I. And they only really start to loosen up when the tires get a little bit worn and when the pressures come up in them. But that's not until later in the run. So it's going to be interesting to see who makes what adjustments and who comes to life. The later this race goes, we're green again. Stage 2 for the Virginia 225. Steel Horse Motorsports Fords lead them through 1 and 2. Jesse Carlson, Stephen Corley, Nick Don Francesco right there with them. It's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. and Landshark rounding out the top 5, and they're all slicing and dicing 3 wide going into 1 and 2. Nick Don Francesco in the 24, he had to lift just a little bit. He's the one right behind Stephen Corley. Landshark is the one to the outside of him, running in 4th.
Ooh, they switch lanes. Slide job.
Oh yeah, they're doing a lot of that.
Did he, young fella?
Battles all over this racetrack. Here's the battle for the 5th position. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Jordan Routon in the 17. And don't look now, folks, but it's Josh Colin-Diaz in the 23. He's in 7th, looking for 6th underneath Jordan Routon. And he got he didn't get the free pass. He took his lap back the old-fashioned way, the Mark Martin way, and he's making a charge back to the front in that 23 Silverado. Similar story to stage 1, top 4 beginning to break away just a little bit from the rest of the fields. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. running in 5th on his own a little bit. A couple of truck lengths of an advantage over the drivers running behind him. It's Josh Colin-Diaz in 6th. Cameron Norton has settled into the 7th position behind him. Jordan Routon currently scored in 8th. 8th, 9th, and 10th. Looks like this, folks. Gordon in the 17, Daniel in the 13, and there's Beam in the 16. Remember, Beam is a lap down. And getting a report, folks, I believe that I told you Harold Burton got 5th in stage 1. It was actually Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Harold Burton in the 56, trapped 1 lap down. As is Daniel McGriff in the 13. It's Jordan Roughton in the 17 in this picture on the lead lap, as well as Alex Tesdall in the 98. Battle for third is on. Two very different backgrounds here in the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series season. Nick Francesco in the 24, the points leader, has a win this season. A number of top 5 finishes and stage wins. In fact, he just recently, Nick Francesco, tied for third on the all-time most stage wins list here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. It's been a phenomenal start to the truck season for him. And it's Landshark making his debut, running in 4th just behind him. Very different paths, different stories, and not evenly matched their running here at Richmond. Top 4 were beginning to break away from the rest of the field, but now here comes Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. He's making a charge into 5th position. Only a couple of truck lengths behind Landshark, who runs in 4th. Can let you know, Robert Lohman Sr. is off the racetrack, Jeff Grady, a couple of others, and this is leaving us with 19 trucks left on the racetrack. 22 started, and I believe that we've got 11 of them on the lead lap. It's 10 or 11 at this point. It'd be difficult with no leaderboard. I know that there is, for sure, 10 drivers on the lead lap, though, and they're all racing like they still have a shot to win this thing, and in fact, most of the field still does. They're all chasing Jesse Carlson in the 88. Trying to make it 2 wins in a row here in the Tailgate Truck Series, and it will be phenomenal to see.
Loose. You let off that gas and that car see.
There's times when he starts to show that spark and he starts to make some moves and goes towards the front, and then there's times when he just kind of settles in, realizes the big picture, especially if it's after a bit of a slip like you're saying, and you know, he's doing really good out there in his debut, running in 4th, and he's surrounded by drivers that have been racing here in NOSSCAR for quite some time and are used to getting top 5s, top 3s, victory lane, and you know, it's been fun to watch Landshark mix it up with the longtime NASCAR drivers. Ooh, a little bit of contact was made there. He went to the inside of the points leader, Nick Francesco, and a little bit of a slide job. He slid up into the door of the 24, and a bit of a payback was given there by the points leader, and up the hill went both trucks.
51.
Yes, sir. To the inside going into 3, and I was talking with you a lot, Tyler, before we started the broadcast. Entering turn 3 is a lot tighter than entering turn 1. You got to lift and brake a little bit more.
And there's that little bump. You let off too soon and hit that bump, rear end's coming.
More contact was made there. Nick Francesco in the 24, Landshark in the 26, and Nick getting a little too aggressive there, in my opinion. Getting into the tailgate of the 26 repeatedly, and it's allowing Jeffrey Robinson Jr. to capitalize and take the 3rd position away. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 runs in 6th. He's gaining ground on both of them. Cameron Norton runs in 7th in the 3. And just wanted to update everybody, it's Beam SKP, the first truck 1 lap down. He's worked his way into that position right there for Rockstar Racing, and at the end of stage 2, if it all were to hold station, he would get the 3 pass. And sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, Napa just took out Lanchard.
Oh, it's a shame. You're right, there's a bit of front end damage there to the points leader, Silverado, and so now he's got the 4th position. Josh has 5th, Cameron Norton has 6th, and you're right, Landshark has dropped to the 7th position. Let's see if we can find him here. I'm having a tough time doing that, apparently. There he is. And yeah, it's a shame, because Landshark didn't do anything wrong there. I'm not sure what got the better of Nick's emotions there over. Yeah, it's interesting, and I don't understand exactly what the reasoning was behind that, because Landshark didn't really do anything wrong. Now he's running back in the 7th position, and he's got some damage to the number 26 Silverado, and he's got a bit of track time to make up.
Bully around and poke around, and stuff that happens. It's racing.
And the battle for the lead looks like this. Stephen Corley in the 99 has finally given Jesse Carlson somebody to challenge with, and he's taken the race lead.
NASCAR King getting ready to pipe in underneath Napa, I think.
Yeah, there's battles all over the racetrack, and Stephen Corley leading laps for the first time tonight, and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 closing in on the tailgate of both of the top 2, and Jeffrey's looking for his first career NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. There you see him, qualified in the 3rd position, currently scored in the 3rd position.
NASCAR King keeps peeking it in there, but I think he's too loose on things that he can't get no drive out. Believe it.
Yeah, I'm watching this battle. It's a good battle for 4th and 5th, and they're both taking different lines. And now here you see Josh trying to use the momentum that he got coming out of 4 to go to the inside in 1. Couldn't quite do it, and that's the price you pay if you can't get it to stick down there. He's going to lose a couple truck lengths now, and he's going to have to catch him again and then try again. Should update you, Landshark has worked his way around Cameron Norton to take the 6th position.
NASCAR, yeah, Napa, he has that particular line. He likes to go clean out there towards the wall. Last second, he likes to straight down in. I think that's what NASCAR's anticipate, but anticipate too much.
They've raced each other a lot over the years, and many different NOSSCAR series at that. The battle for the lead is really heating up here, folks. Jesse Carlson's not letting Stephen Corley get away, and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is closing in on both of them. And they're not even battling side by side.
NASCAR King made the pass on that.
4th position goes to Josh in the 23. Don Francesco back to the 5th position, and now we'll have to see if the fireworks fly again between Nick in the 24, Landshark in the 26. They're running 5th and 6th. There is a big gap between them, but there's no trucks between them.
Yeah, but if these two get into battle with one another, they'll catch up.
We hope to see a clean battle if we can help it.
Hopefully he's cooled down, got his mind back.
That's what I'm hoping for. And we're still lean, mean, clean, and green, and everyone putting on a blistering pace. 225 lap race, and these drivers going anywhere from 28 to 32 laps on their tires and fuel. Some drivers will be electing to short pit here in stage 2 to capitalize on those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles for a longer duration of time, knowing that they've got to come to pit road for fuel anyways, for tires anyways. And I'm not sure what's going on with Jeffrey Robinson Jr. He's losing touch with the top 2 now, and Stephen Corley, Jesse Carlson beginning to drive away here at Richmond. Ooh, good battle here. Alex Tesdall, Jordan Roughton, both trucks are on the lead lap. It's a battle inside the top 10, and there's a lot of blocking going on. Alex in the 98 was all over the place possibly could. Looking like a Talladega battle here. And Jordan Roughton now goes to the bottom. Preferred groove, especially going into turn 3. They both went up the hill a little more than they wanted to, I think. And this is all happening right in front of Dustin McClintock in the 20. Dustin McClintock is on the lead lap as well, and he's having a great run. Oh, contact was made again there between Alex and the 98, Jordan Roughton in the 17, and this is going into 3 and 4 now. More contact made, and crossover move by Jordan in the 17. Ford versus Ford. Oh, and contact was made. Dustin McClintock has come to have some fun. And around them both goes Dustin, and these two are still beating and banging. This is now going into 3 and 4 because of it. Bean SKP is on pit road, by the way. He's the first truck 1 lap down at the beginning of this cycle of pit stops, and we'll have to see if he's still the first truck 1 lap down at the end. Can let you know as well, Brett Baker, former NASCAR champion on NASCAR 15, the 2 truck. Not sure what happened to him. I didn't see what happened to him, but he's off the track, done for the day for the Virginia 225, and that leaves 18 trucks still rocking and rolling here at Richmond International Raceway. Timmy Brown in the 8 Ford F-150 comes to a stop for a pit stop. Nick Don Francesco on pit road as well. He's running in 5th. They're still battling for the lead before the cycle of pit stops continues. Stephen Corley leading, Jesse Carlson in 2nd, and see if we can find where Landshark is. Yeah, he just left pit road. Yeah. He pit on the same lap as Nick Don Francesco in the 24. They're still separated by only about 13, 14 truck lengths. They're in the same picture frame there. Oh, it's interesting. I'm impressed with Landshark and the speed that he's brought here tonight for his debut.
Shader is making a little pit road for 98 right now. Awesome.
Oh man, we got to report this. Cameron Norton in the number 3 is off the track, and it appears that he's done for the night as well, and that's a really tough break because he was running in the 7th position. Again, I didn't see what happened to him either, but he's off the track, done for the day, and Bradley Gilliland just came to a stop in his pit stop. Thomas Geyer in the 62 looks like he's off the track and done for the day as well, so this is actually going to leave us with, I believe, 17 trucks left on the racetrack, 22 stars, excuse me, so 16 trucks left on the racetrack now here at Richmond International Raceway, and we're nearing the end of stage 2. Oh! They were 3 and 4 wide there. Dave Marks Jr., Daniel McGriff, Timmy Brown. A couple of these trucks just came off pit road recently. Alex Tesdall in the 98's right there with him as well. Harold Burton in the 56. This is good action here at Richmond. Jesse Carlson leaves pit road. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. does as well. They were in the top 3 before the cycle of pit stops began. It's going to be interesting to see where they all cycle through. Stephen Corley's on pit road in the 99, so we're going to keep our camera here, see who goes flashing on by him. Here comes Jesse, the golden silver and yellow truck rather, and it's going to be close between those two. It's side by side even, folks. That's how close the cycle of pit stops came, and that's what the battle for the lead is going to look like when all the pit stops are done. Wow, that was really cool to watch because you could see it forming. You could see Jesse coming into the frame. Steven was just leaving pit road. He now has a couple of laps, I believe 1 or 2 laps fresher tires than Jesse in the 88. That might give him an advantage here. And yeah, that was interesting to see. That was really fun to see. Jordan Roughton in the 17 is the first truck 1 lap down, with Dustin McClintock in the 20 right behind him. And we can tell you it's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 running in third, and Nick Don Francesco running in fourth. Rounding out the top 5 is Landshark in the 26. Again, folks, if you're just tuning in, it's round 8 of the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series season here at Richmond International Raceway, and it's the Virginia 225. 225 lap race, 22 trucks entered the event, and we're down to 16 trucks left on the racetrack. We're nearing the end of stage 2. We're rocking and rolling at Richmond. And a late pit stop for Josh Colombiez in the 23. We were wondering if the pit stop cycle had completely finished, and evidently it had not. Here comes Josh in the 23. We'll see where he cycles through. There goes Nick in the 24, and Shark in the 26. So it's going to bring Josh out into the 6th position. I watched Landshark and I watched Nick in the 24 go by, and so now Josh has the freshest tires of anybody else on the racetrack. That's one good thing going for him, but he doesn't have very many laps left in stage 2 to use them. You can hear the fans here, the virtual fans all around the racetrack here at Richmond cheering, and whoa, Nick Don Francesco. He had a wild moment coming out of turn 4 there. Found the outside wall. The truck shot down to the bottom, and he had to really hold on to it and gather it back up. And around is Harold Burton in the 56. That's near the entrance to pit road. Daniel McGriff in the 13 coming to pit road as well. Out in the 17 coming off pit road as well. So many different pit strategies going on here at Richmond. They all know that they have to pit once in the stage, so some drivers coming to pit road sooner to get the 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles and utilize as much track time with those fresh tires as they can. Maybe split the stage in half. Other drivers running their tires all the way until they're bald and worn, and then coming in for maybe right sides and a splash. There's a lot of different strategies going on, and they're all chasing the race leader, Stephen Corley, in the number 99 Ford F-150. Jesse Carlson runs in second. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. runs in third. And it's Nick Don Francesco scored in the 4th position in the 24. Landshark, the rookie, making his debut here in the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series. There you see him. He runs in the 5th position. And it's Josh Colombiez in the 23, running in 6th. And he's got some of the fresher tires of any of the lead lap trucks right now. But like I said, there's not very many laps left to utilize those fresh 4 Goodyear Eagles. He's gaining on Landshark for the 5th position, and that would be for a stage point. Top 5 in the stages receive points. Stage winner receives that valuable playoff point, and that's why this battle for the stage win is key. It's critical here because Jesse Carlson in the 88 has already claimed the stage 1 win, and that's a stage point. Excuse me, it's a playoff point rather. Stephen Corley would love to take that other playoff point. And the leaders do have some traffic here before the end of this one that they are going to have to deal with, and I'm not sure if they're even going to need to work around some of them, though. Jordan Roughton in the 17, he's just in front of your race leader, but he's got far fresher tires than the top two, and he's not really holding them up at this point. He's more or less just barely faster than they are, so it's just making things a little bit awkward for the top two. They're all gaining on Harold Burton in the 56, and Stephen Corley now gets to the inside of Jordan Roughton. Jordan's going to have to give way here. Well, one would think anyways, and he does. Harold Burton in the 56 goes one lap down, and next to go a lap down is Alex Tesdall in the number 98 Ford F-150. Remember, Alex received the free pass at the end of stage 1. He might need another one at the end of stage 2. And this is not what Beam SKP in the number 16 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing wants to see. Before the cycle of pit stops, he was actually in the free pass spot. 3 wide going into turn 1, and they're all on different laps, folks. This all happened just behind your race leader, Stephen Corley, and that's exactly what he wants to see. Jordan Roughton in the 17 is getting a little bit physical with the leaders. Like I said, this allowed Stephen to kind of get a bit of a gap over Jesse, and he kind of needed that. He was getting pressured by his teammate from Steel Horse Motorsports for a number of laps. We were watching the battle for the lead, and that gives him a bit of breathing room. Still Jeffrey Robinson Jr. running in third, and still Nick Francesco running in fourth. Still Lance Shark running in the 5th position. There you see, actually, folks, he just lost the 5th position to Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23. Josh really on a mission, folks. Remember, coming to pit road in stage 1. Was involved in the incident there with Stephen Corley. Stephen kind of ran into the back of him, and it forced Josh to lose a handful of seconds in the lap track time.
Yeah, he wanted to precious tires, though.
Amongst the lead lap trucks, yes, and that's really what's helping him gain some of this track position back. I just wonder how many laps are left here in stage 2. No live in race reporter, so it's going to be interesting to see how the final stage goes. We're not going to have a leaderboard. Nick Francesco gaining a little bit of ground on Jeffrey Robinson Jr. for third. I just don't know if he's got enough time to get there or not. Stephen Corley has caught his teammate Alex Tesdall in the 98 and trying to put him one lap down, and if he does... Oh, and coming to the line, that was the green and white checkers for the end of stage 2. And he saved his teammate and let him get back in front of him, so I believe it's Jordan Roughton in the number 17 getting the free pass. Jesse Carlson gets second in stage 2, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. third, Nick Francesco fourth, Josh Colm-Diaz rounding out the top 5. Well, final stage time. Round 8 of the 2021 season. 22 trucks started here in the Virginia 225. 16 of them left on the racetrack, and they're going to be rocking and rolling 2 by 2 around this 3/4 mile oval in just a couple of seconds. And Stephen Corley wins stage 2. Your thoughts on the race so far, Ty?
It's great, man. They're battling everywhere. Everyone's running somewhat clean. Some tempers are flaring a little bit. It's typical short track racing.
Couldn't have said it any better. We're seeing a little bit of everything. 2 wide, 3 wide, single file. The field gets spread after I'd say about 10 to 15 laps, and that's when you really see who's got the speed and you got the space to show it. The green flag is in the air, the final stage for the Virginia 225 at Richmond. 2 by 2 down the back straightaway. Stephen Corley, Jesse Carlson lead them into 3. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Nick Francesco, Josh Colm-Diaz, Lance Shark, they're all right there.
And throw a blanket over.
You pretty much could, yes. Alex Tesdall scored in the 7th position. And Jordan Routon in 8th. Beam SKP in 9th. The first truck 1 lap down. 8 trucks left on the lead lap here. 22 started, and they're 3 wide going down the front stretch.
NASCAR throwing some muscle around.
Land Shark to the bottom, making it stick. He goes by Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. He takes the 5th position away, and Jesse Carlson is in big trouble. He's stuck on the outside and getting freight trained a little bit here, while his teammate Stephen Corley drives away. What a fierce battle for 2nd and 3rd. The teammates Josh Colm-Diaz, Nick Francesco battling hard for 2nd and 3rd. And just behind them, Land Shark, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Jesse Carlson. Three wide again, and this time through 1 and 2. See, they are a bit more prone to be 3 wide going down the front stretch. You can kind of cruise into turn 1 a little bit easier because it's not so much pressure that you need to put on the brakes or as much lifting involved. Oh, we saw a couple of trucks hit the apron there. One of them was Beam SKP in the 16, and around he goes. He's going to get it fired up again, but he was running in 9th when that happened. He's going to lose a couple of spots. Whew. Man, all right, so let's reset things for you. Stephen Corley leads. It's Nick Francesco running in 2nd. Josh Colm-Diaz in 3rd. Ooh, there was some contact there between him and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. Jeffrey's going to take 3rd. Behind them, running in 5th, Jesse Carlson, the pole sitter and stage 1 winner, arguably the fastest truck all race long, now kind of stuck in the 5th position. That's your top 5. And how about Alex Tesdall? He's worked his way all the way up into the 6th position after taking a free pass earlier in stage 1 and then just barely staying on the lead lap at the end of stage 2. Currently scored in 6th on the lead lap as a result, with Land Shark, the newcomer, making his debut right behind him in the 7th position.
Alex is just showing you. Run the race. Stuff moves in the line eventually.
Yeah, he's showing that never give up attitude really does go a long way sometimes here. You can fall a lap down, you can fall 2 laps down, and you can rally back and salvage a good day out of it. And if it would end right now, he would have a top 10 finish when maybe in stage 1 it was not looking so good for a top 10. And don't look now, folks, but Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 has taken the 2nd position away from Nick Francesco. It only took 5 laps, but he finally got the job done. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 followed him through for the 3rd spot, and Jesse Carlson has followed his way up into 4th. Stephen Corley leads. There you see him in the 99. And
Land Shark got around the 98.
Yes, he did. So the 26 truck also making a bit of headway here towards the front, currently scored in the 6th position. It's been showing good speed all race long. The interesting thing about this is Josh Colm-Diaz is now chasing the driver that got into the tailgate of him entering pit road and cost him all that track time. He's chasing that driver down for the lead and for the win here at Richmond, and might be a little bit of added on motivation for the driver of the 23. battles all over the racetrack. We're just trying not to take our eye off the battle for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. They're all really running right here in a line, folks, and it's kind of good for them, in my opinion, that they're running like this, nose to tail, and I think it's because it's allowing them to maybe gain ground on the race leader, Stephen Corley. We all know the draft is pretty strong here on NASCAR Heat 5, even at these short tracks, even in these trucks, and that little bit of extra speed that they might be carrying, driving nose to tail, it might be helping them reel in Stephen Corley. Who knows, time will tell, and they got a lot of laps in the final stage here to work with, and the gap to the naked eye looks about the same, but yeah, you never know. Drivers running second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, pretty much nose to tail. Alex Tesdall runs in seventh. He's kind of lost touch with this group of trucks a little bit. He's got Harold Burden in the 56 right behind him, but he's one lap down in the 9th position. Pardon me. And how about Stephen Corley, folks, leading the race here? He, like I said, he won the Holiday Bash 200 at Homestead Miami Speedway right before our week-and-a-half holiday break, and it was his first career NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. Come so close so many times, especially on the mile-and-a-halfs, and he's really known for his mile-and-a-half success, mile-and-a-half speed, especially in these trucks. But for him to come to a short track, 3/4 mile oval, like Richmond, more flat than it is banked, it's very impressive to see him run up front the way he has been. He got stage points in stage 1, he won stage 2, qualified second for this race, and yeah, he's led the second most laps in this race and doing a great job. The Steel Horse Motorsports Fords, they really brought good trucks for this event. Jesse Carlson won the pole and a stage. Stephen Corley won the qualified second and won a stage. They've both led the most laps in this one. Both are running in the top 5, along with Alex Tesdall, their other teammate, scored in the 7th position. Nearly had a co-commentator. Nothing, never mind.
Looking like Shark wants to make a move for 4. He's all over the back of that 24.
I don't blame him. There's a little bit of bad blood between these two. As you know, you've been watching it. I didn't really see exactly why Nick got as mad as he did earlier in this race in the 24, but he basically drove the 26 all around the racetrack and used him up and made Landshark lose a couple of positions. Now Nick is feeling the pressure from Landshark, and now Nick is going to take the position away from Jesse Carlson. It kind of looked like Landshark was going to take a look to the outside of the 88. Jesse shut the door, put the 26 partially in the wall even. See, the thing with this, Tyler, is Landshark is not used to league racing. He told me that he's been invited to many different leagues and he's always declined them. And he said yes, he accepted the invitation to NOSSCAR, and I'm not exactly sure why. I should ask him sometime, but here he is. 22 trucks started this event. He's not used to league races where 22 trucks are going to be all very fast, very competitive, very clean. He's used to public lobby races where there's 25 to 35 drivers that are out there trying to pancake each other into the wall every corner. So yeah, it's a whole different world here in NOSSCAR, and he's fitting in and he's adjusting very nicely. He's learning what to do and what not to do, running in 6th. And I should mention, Josh Colm-Diaz, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., they're running in 2nd and 3rd. They've ran away from the drivers running 4th on back just a little bit. It was a group of 5 of them. Now that group of 3 trucks runs 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I'll be honest, Josh Colm-Diaz is gaining ground on Stephen Corley in the 99, and I'm very curious to see what happens if he gets there. I know that what happened between them was an accident, but I know also that Josh is not afraid to use the chrome horn.
Ooh. And you were saying earlier that was for third, fourth, or fifth.
When the incident happened between those two, they were coming to pit road and they were running third and fourth when it happened, yeah. Right now, Josh is in second, trying to run down Stephen Corley for the lead. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. scored in third, right behind him. Nick DonFrancesco fourth. Jesse Carlson rounding out the top five with Landshark close behind him.
88's been all over at 24's the past few years.
We're going to leave him alone now. I understand the urgency. Final stage of the Virginia 225. Jesse's not used to running back here in fifth. He led the most laps up until just a couple of laps ago. Stephen Corley has now led more, and yeah, he's running back here in fifth, kind of stuck behind the 24, and maybe they can work together.
He's trying to see if he messes up or something going into the turn so we can get by.
Yeah, maybe trying to put the pressure on. Hey, you called it. Look at that. To the inside goes Jesse Carlson.
I noticed that with people running this, if you're in their mirror too long, they get nervous and they overdrive their turns.
It's something these drivers sometimes use to their advantage as well. Put the pressure on and wait for them to make a mistake in front of them. And Jesse Carlson capitalizing here, and textbook pass on Nick DonFrancesco, and Landshark in the 26 still right there with these guys. They're all chasing Stephen Corley, but they're catching him. At least Josh Colm-Diaz and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. are catching him.
It's surprising how these three are battling and they're still catching the front two, little by little.
Yeah, I'm amazed by it. It's going to be a good battle for the lead if Josh can get there. I know he's got a fast truck, and it's taken him all this time to get back up into the second position. They've got Timmy Brown just in front of him. Ooh, Timmy's going to stay high. Veteran driver and former Brickyard 200 winner of the NASCAR Motormaster Series. Let the leaders go.
Landshark spun out coming out of turn 3.
Oh no, and that's a heartbreaker for the driver that's making his debut here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. He's going to bring that truck to pit road. I kind of don't blame him. Yeah, fix that damage, get back out there. There's still a lot of laps left in the final stage. There's going to be multiple pit stops in this final stage. So that is a tough break. He was running in 6th when that happened. Was there contact with another truck, or did he just kind of lose it on his own?
He just got too far down. I think he caught the apron, and he just catching it till the finish line, and the finish line's where it went out.
Yeah, we've seen a couple drivers catch the apron with those left side tires, and it doesn't take long. Around the truck will go if you're not careful. Jesse Carlson hit the apron earlier in this race in the 88 truck. He nearly went around, and then right behind him, Beam SKP, he followed him and went below the yellow line as well, and he wasn't as fortunate. He did spin it. Speaking of Beam, he's coming to pit road in the 16 Tundra for Rockstar Racing. Landshark leaving pit road, and there's Beam coming to pit road. Third place finish for Beam SKP at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in these trucks in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. Best finish to date for him in his NASCAR career. Very talented road course racer, still learning these ovals, but learning fast, and very talented driver. And Dustin McClintock on the 20 comes to pit road. Landshark has come off pit road, but he's actually in between Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 and Stephen Corley in the 99. He's a lap down. I believe he's actually 2 laps down as well, but he's trying to get one of those back by getting around the 99. He does have fresher tires. Ooh, he drove into the back of Stephen Corley to get the job done. I mean, I know he's the leader, but I can't blame him too much. It almost looked like Steven blocked him a bit there. See, that's where having a crew chief would maybe come in handy for some of these drivers, knowing when somebody's got the fresher tires. Ooh, Jason Armstrong comes to pit road. It kind of looked like Steven had to lift a little bit extra going into 3 there just because he wasn't sure where Armstrong was going. And it's little things like that here and there that are going to make all the difference. Josh in the 23 is now within about 2 truck lengths of Stephen Corley. And that will be the battle for the lead. Now keep in mind they have not come to pit road yet. Every now and then Josh gets a little bit loose coming out of these turns, and that's really the only thing that's holding him back from keeping up with Stephen Corley. I shouldn't say that. He's keeping with him just fine, but it's the only thing holding him back from getting right on the tailgate of that 99.
The 88 is all over 51.
Is he ever? 3rd and 4. Jeffrey in the 51, Jesse in the 88, Nick in the 24 right there with him in the 5th position. And green flag pit stops beginning. Oh no! And around goes Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23. And there was no contact made this time between he and another truck. This was just him losing control with the apron.
Flip that wall.
Oh, you're right. There's a tiny bit of damage. You're right. He clipped it with the nose, and that's a shame. There's not going to be too much repair time, but it's more the track time that he lost from spinning and doing a 360 that's going to be important. Stephen Corley's going to have that much more of an advantage when these pit stops are done. The 99 right there on pit road as well. There you see him.
88's coming to pit road.
Oh man, pit road becoming a very busy place here.
24 stayed out.
Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing has come to a stop in his pit stall, getting service, 4 tires and fuel. He was running in 3rd before this cycle of pit stops, but the thing is, Josh Colm-Diaz has had problems since then. The field is really stacked up right now. They're all bottlenecked. There's about 8 trucks on the back straightaway with each other. They're 3 and 4 wide. Around goes Daniel McGriff. That happened right in front of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. I don't know if there was contact made with the front of that truck or not. I can tell you, though, that Stephen Corley is still going to be in front of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. when this all cycles through. And so I think that when everybody has made a pit stop, it'll be Jeffrey in 2nd, Landshark in 3rd, never mind, Josh Colm-Diaz just bulldozed Landshark out of the way for the 3rd position. Landshark going to be back to 4th. This is, keep in mind, this is when all the pit stops are done.
I remember Landshark's lap down because of wrecking. Once he got his lap back, well, he did get one back to him.
He never lost a lap, Landshark. No, he just lost track time. No, he's been on the lead lap.
Wow.
When that spin happened, he was running in the 6th position. And I think he only lost the 1 position to Alex Tesdall in the 98, so he went back to 7th. And he's short pit here in the final stage, so he's trying to gain some of these spots back, and he's right behind Josh Colm-Diaz. So that's a battle for position on the lead lap when this all cycles through, though. That's when the cycle of pit stops is done. Right now, I believe there's a couple of trucks that have not made those scheduled pit stops.
But I've seen the 24 didn't pit yet.
That's what I'm thinking. I just went to him. You're reading my mind. I'm watching Nick Francesco, the points leader, and yeah, I don't think that he's come to pit road.
Did pit.
the 88's working his way around. Stephen Corley in the 99, and now so does Nick Francesco, and that's key, folks, because I know that Stephen Corley has already made his pit stop. Maybe Nick has pit, because I know Jesse has in the 88. So yeah, this was a change for the race lead right here. Jesse Carlson has just taken the lead, and Nick Francesco just drove up to second. Stephen Corley runs in third. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 truck scored in fourth. Behind Jeffrey, it's Alex Tesdall in the number 98 Ford F-150. I believe that he scored in the 50. No, excuse me. It's actually, I'm waiting for it. It's Landshark in the 26 running in fifth. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23.
Making a move to the inside.
For the lead, the points leader, Nick Francesco, to the inside of Jesse Carlson. Going into three, he's definitely got the preferred groove. Going into three, it's so tight, you got to use a lot of brake and get the truck slowed down. These trucks are so heavy. And we have a new leader. First laps all race long, Nick Francesco has led, and rare to see him come to life so late in a race. Usually he's on fire throughout the entire event, and now he's showing his strong speed here in the final stage. We do have another round of pit stops, or another two maybe even rounds of pit stops before we see the checkered flag in this one, and things are looking good for the 24.
As you say that, the 88 dodged back in underneath him.
Why not? Earnhardt crossover move down the front stretch now, going into turn one. Jesse Carlson, the pole sitter, retakes the top spot for Steel Horse Motorsports. His teammate, Stephen Corley.
Right through.
See, that's going to be the rough thing about this for him, Tyler. He's got to deal with these two teammates, and they're going to work together before they work with him. Yeah, they're going to work together before they let the 24 take the lead and drive off with it. Back to the bottom goes Nick Francesco on Stephen Corley in the 99, and going down the front stretch now. This is exactly what the leader Jesse Carlson wants to see. He wants to see these drivers side by side mixing it up so he can kind of drive away. Oh, and around goes Stephen Corley. Back straightaway, Stephen got loose coming out of turn two. He tried to correct it and save it, and he couldn't. He got he got into the outside wall, and sometimes these trucks kind of stick to the wall when they get into it, and that's exactly what happened. He's lost pretty much a full lap now to the leaders. One of the next trucks behind him is actually going to be the leader to put him a lap down. And it truly is the next truck behind Stephen Corley, and that's about a full straightaway behind the 99. That's a shame. He was closing in on what would maybe be his second NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win of the season. Now he's dropped outside the top five.
It's just how quick things can happen in racing.
You stole my slogan, Ty. But you're right.
Well, I figured we got the same first name. I figured we could just share it.
Sounds good to me. Well, we're working the final stage, so let's kind of reset things for you if possible. Jesse Carlson in the 88 for Steel Horse Motorsports leads the way. He's had the second most laps in this race. Nick Francesco in the 24 runs in second. And it's still Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, scored in third, having a great run here at Richmond International Raceway. Comes into this event second in the point standings. And pardon me, folks. Running in the fourth position, Landshark in the 26. Running in fifth is Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23. Good battle there with Alex Tesdall in the 98, though. And that's your top five in this one. Like I said, they're all chasing the pole sitter, Jesse Carlson. Going to take a short break from full commentary. We're going to leave you with former NASCAR Dirt Touring Series race winner, Tyler Wagner.
Not sure where he left us at camera-wise, but I'm on the 88 leader here. 24 cars catching him a little bit. But he's coming up, the 88's coming up on his teammate. Gonna put him a lap down. It's just sad how that happened. He just came out of 1 and 2 and it just said see ya. Walked right out. There he goes. His teammate moved up, gave him the room. That's sportsmanship there. Ooh. His teammate must not have been happy. Got a little heavy on the 24 going in there. But now 2 lap cars separate first and second. Ooh, we just split them both in one shot. And Shark's got a little bit of damage to the front end of that. Chevy starting to catch SKP. Gaining a little bit of ground, little by little. Leader here. They got about a half a turn lead on second place right now. It's looking like these trucks' tires are starting to turn over from that pit stop. Like starting to drive a lot better, get in and down to that low side a lot better. Able to hug it tighter so they can gain that speed coming out. But everybody's just spaced out right now. Everyone's just running the line. Shadows back here under a little bit of pressure from the 17 car. Gives him a little bump. Ooh, Shark getting a little loose coming out of 2. Map has closed a little bit of ground on the leader. There in the 24 corner. I'd be thinking here before too long, you may see some of these guys come in. Some of these guys are now pushing them tires pretty hard. Trying to gain that position, get in there, do what they gotta do. Shadow and PC Panther keep trading the position back and forth with one another. Oh, he gives them a little bit of a tap in the middle of the turn there. Gives the old Earnhardt move. Gets the position coming out of fourth. Gave him the old bump and run. Shadow return the favor. Ooh. He does. Ooh, now. They're just trading back and forth with one another, and them doing that, let Sharky and NASCAR catch back up. Actually, I think it's over. Yeah, I think that's the end of the race. I think your winner is NASCAR. And that is it, folks. Give you a race rundown here. Alrighty, race rundown. Your winner in first place is NASCAR Roof. Second place is Napa Fan. Third place is Juicy J. Fourth place is NASCAR King. Fifth place is D's. Sixth place is Land Shark. Seventh came PC Panther. Eighth is Shado. Ninth is the 16 of SKP. And 10th is the 56 car.
How about it, folks? Virginia 225 in the history books here at Richmond International Raceway, round 8 of the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series season. Tyler Wagner going down the running order for you, and Jesse Carlson in the number 88 Ford F-150 finding victory lane, correct?
The NASCAR Roof, yeah.
Wow, what a run for him it was. We're going to see if we can get some post-race interviews for you. We'll wrap things up from Richmond International Raceway.
'17th, the 2 of Brett Baker. '18th, the 3 of Bowman Nation. '19th, Hellcat Maverick. '20th, Crazy Legs. 21st is JT Wise. And then 22nd is Haha Gaia. That rounds out your finishing order.
And that is your official race results here from the Virginia 225 here at Richmond International Raceway. 22 drivers started the event, and it was a wild, chaotic race. 225 laps. Pit stops were made in stage 1 and stage 2. Multiple pit stops made in the final stage, and it was quite the drag race to the finish between a couple of the drivers there, Nick Donfrancesco being one of them. And we have Nick Donfrancesco here in the broadcast booth with us, and you're going to join us for an interview here. Driver the number 24 coming into this race, and you showed everybody once again, Nick, why you are the points leader. You ran solid all race long, and you walked away with a second place finish here in the Virginia 225. How was the competition out there, and walk us through your race?
Um, Competition was pretty stiff there towards the end, but I had a lot of hard work to get through the top two because I didn't start up there, so came all the way from the back to get second. So pretty good night, I'd say.
Yeah, I was going to add that in. You started at the tail. You couldn't make it for qualifying, so you started literally dead last and 22nd for this race. You drove all the way up to second place. What were some of the challenges you came up with, or what do you call it here? What were some of the challenges you faced on your way to the front?
Well, I'd say when I race first started, I think moving up through the field was pretty easy till I hit top 10. So when I got to the top 10, it was pretty trucks here and there. So. And then I think we had a stage in, and I was able to pick up more positions. So caught some breaks here and there too.
Phenomenal race for you. Runner-up finish here at Richmond. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And moving forward, driver of the number 51 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing, that is Jeffrey Robinson Jr. He finished in the third position here tonight at Richmond. Jeffrey, you had a great race tonight. The cameras were on you for a lot of this one. You ran in the top 5 all race long, started third, finished third. Sum up your race for us and walk us through your night. You came into this race second in the point standings, and you're becoming a very familiar face here in these interviews and in the top 5. You seem to be always up at the front battling for these wins, and seems to be only a matter of time until you find victory lane for the first time. What do you think that you need to do to get that first win? Is there something you've been learning as you've been coming along? Excellent job tonight. Congratulations on a third place finish. And that was Jeffrey Robinson Jr., driver of the 51 for Rockstar Racing. And now on to victory lane. We find the driver of the number 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. That is Jesse Carlson. 2 wins in a row here for you in the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series. You went a little while until you found victory lane for the first time, and now it seems like you've opened the floodgates. You got your first Motormaster win, and now you've got 2 truck wins. What's going through your mind right now, and how were you able to pull it off here tonight at Richmond? Oh, I don't believe that we actually have our race winner here in the broadcast booth with us, and I apologize for the viewers at home, but yeah, evidently we're unable to get a post-race interview with our race winner, Jesse Carlson, and we're going to leave it at that. So the top 3, Jesse Carlson, Nick Donfrancesco, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. was a great race. All 22 drivers did a great job at 225 lap event. Pit stops were made throughout this one, and it was a wild, fun race. A lot of different strategies were made. A lot of different drivers were short pitting, long pitting, and different strategies were deployed, mostly in the final stage. Throwing it down to the former NASCAR Dirt Touring Series race winner Tyler Wagner. Final thoughts on the Virginia 225.
It was wild, that's for sure. They were battling everywhere. You didn't know what was going to happen. You had some tempers flare. You had typical short track racing. I love it.
I loved it. Well, next round, we're off to Dover Speedway. The Monster Mile has a plan of its own for these NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series drivers, and
The race winner had his mic muted.
Actually, yeah, okay, we're getting a report now. Yeah, we got our race winner with us here for Victory Lane. Jesse Carlson capturing his second win in a row here for the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. Jesse, how were you able to drive your way to the front and find Victory Lane again for a second time?
Well, the competition was there like I was wanting, and it was fun. It was fun battling for the podium spots and everything for stages and all that. Had good racing with my teammate, the number 99, and everyone else that was running top 10. They were doing great, and yeah, I had fun that race.
You won the pole, you won a stage, you got stage points in the stage that you didn't win, you were in the top 5 all race long, you led the most laps. It seemed like you were the driver to beat here tonight. And what do you think that it was that separated you from the rest of the field?
Well, I don't know. I think at the beginning of stage 3, I got freight trained on the inside, so I had to be courteous and everything to let them by, and then I got by them a little bit, and I got there and I pitted by myself once again and got a good pit time and came out right behind Diesel, and then him and Napa had a little calamity, but it was all good. It was fun battling for the win.
The competition here in NASCAR is stiff. For example, we have 4 drivers in the top 20 for the Winter Heat Series event at the Indy Roval right now, and the drivers here are a great elite group of drivers to race with, very clean, humble, and fast. And what have you been learning racing more and more here in NASCAR on these NASCAR Heat games?
Well, I think I've learned to be able to control myself and be able to take it easy and not quit like I used to when I was younger, and I've matured and all that, so make sure to keep that going, and yeah.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in the future. 2 wins in a row here for your NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series season. Congratulations on winning the Virginia 225.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it, folks. From all of us here at NASCAR, I'm Tyler McMurder. He was Tyler Wagner. We are saying so long, and until next time, stay fast, folks.